Welcome to Modern Homestead Alaska. I am Jessica, and today, as part of the Every Bit Counts challenge, we'll be harvesting cauliflower. For those of you that have been around the channel for quite a while, thank you so much for showing up over and over again. If you are new around here and just finding us through this challenge, we are a modern working family, small-ish homestead here in South Central Alaska, and we are full of life. Whether it is family, we have livestock, so we have a miniature Jersey dairy cow, we have rabbits, and we have chickens, along with dogs, children, and family. We enjoy preserving the foods, the fruits of our labor, as well as procuring food, whether that's through hunting and fishing, and also harvesting what is wild to Alaska. And lastly, we take you along for our building projects, as well as all of our adventures here on the channel. And we hope you choose to join us. Let's get into today's video. Right as of this moment, this is the largest head of cauliflower that I have ever grown and ever harvested, and it is quite beautiful. We have a new baby rooster. I guess I should address that, and he sounds sick, and they just kind of go into gaining their own, and that is what you're hearing in the background. I'm so sorry about that, but they don't listen when I tell them to be quiet. So this is the biggest head of cauliflower. We're going to take the whole plant out, but we are not going to pull it up by its roots. I want to leave the roots in the ground whenever possible in order to continue feeding the soil and the microbes. And so I'm going to cut the stalks of cauliflower off. I'm going to feed them to the rabbits and to the chickens, and then I'm going to harvest the heads, and then much of this that runs down is edible, and so we want to get everything. If it is not large enough to harvest, we're just going to leave it, and we will grab it for fresh eating later. But as I look along here, and we have been going through days and days of heavy what is the word I was trying to use there? Super heavy torrential rains pouring down on us, and they are really beating up some things in the garden. And not only that, with the amount of sun we get and the amount of rain, things just grow extremely quickly. And so when I have a minute where I can jump out here, it doesn't matter that it's 4 or 5 in the afternoon, we have to get out here in the garden when we can and pull what we can. So let's get to it. I think I explained it pretty well. So this is the cauliflower head down here. Just gonna lay it aside, reach in, and cut it off. Okay, so there we have a beautiful cauliflower. It doesn't operate like this. Back here is broccoli. We harvested the broccoli already on the channel, and then look, we're growing little bitty broccolis back all over those same stalks. Cauliflower is like cabbage. Once you pick it, it's done. It's a single head type thing. And so we just can clear this out. Then we're going to get a little bit more sun hitting the broccoli and other things, and possibly get a second harvest. In the cauliflower bed, there is also something called a kohlrabi, and it has a very mild cabbage flavor to it. It's a very firm brassica. Let me try and get one out. We can, without killing the carrots. Okay, same song and dance. They are just these little balls. Take the leaves off. but we want to remove any of them that are fairly decent size, just allowing the other ones to grow. In a previous video, I worked on trellising up that side of the tomatoes. I didn't want to use these very expensive clips while I wait on Amazon. Amazon's now saying that the other clips will be here this week. I need a ton of them. Right behind you, what I'm pointing at that you can't see is the tomatillos and the tomatoes that are in that greenhouse. And then this one literally has tomatoes laying on the ground at this point, so I don't really have a choice except for to use the very expensive clips. But then I have 600, so I have 2 packs of 300 clips coming, and they should be here any day now. But the tomatoes are setting such beautiful fruit that it's weighing down the tomato bushes, and so we have to trellis up just this one side. The center's done and the outside's done, and I just have to worry about this. All right, I can hear my husband and kids are here. I got this whole side up. Woohoo! No tomatoes on the ground anymore. Hopefully you can see that down there, and we are setting so much fruit. It is so exciting. I'm gonna head in. Every day in the month of August, we harvest 1 bucket of food. Believe it or not, by the end of the month, this will be huge. I said I was headed in. I have to check really quick on the zucchinis. I have not checked on them in a couple of days because of the rain. And like I said before, zucchinis will go from perfect size to monstrous overnight. So I'm going to check those real quick and then we'll head inside. Well, I got inside, and something I've been personally trying to do is when my kids are here, I'm just stopping where I'm at and just really trying in this season to just enjoy time with them as they are moving out and doing their own thing. However, they seem to be here every day. We feed and take care of them. So then I took all my makeup off, started to get ready for bed. It's 8:30. Look over and realize I forgot to put away the freeze dried. So I wanted to show you, if you're following the series, anything that goes into the freeze dryer takes at least 24 hours. And so in previous videos, we cracked and put on the freeze dryer trays, pre-froze in the freezer. This is 18 eggs per tray, freeze dryer tray. And then we are now pulling them out of the freeze dryer and we are gonna bag them up. Today we are using the Wallaby 2-quart bags, and I already know from having done this several times that it holds 18 eggs. Okay, it helps me out a little bit to use a rubber spatula and sort of start getting the eggs off of the tray. It's a little bit messy, but they look like just the flakiest gold. Just absolutely beautiful. So I start getting them broke up and then use this is the kennel that you would use for a jar. In we go, freeze-dried eggs. And then to reconstitute freeze-dried eggs, we have done a whole egg video on the channel where we've taste tested freeze-dried versus water glass versus a fresh egg, all of those different things. It constitutes super easy, looks just like a beaten egg, and it is a 1-to-1. So 1 tablespoon of this dry egg mixture to 1 tablespoon of water equals 1 egg. And so this stuff is going to be absolutely amazing this winter. It's one of the things I do want to put in the half-gallon jar eventually, but I just have so many eggs still. I just washed them behind me when Caleb and Destiny were here. We were outside and they were playing with the chickens and holding the rooster and doing all of that stuff. We were watering everything. And I just brought in 18 more eggs this evening that I just washed up and went ahead and popped in the fridge because they wanted to take some eggs home with them. And then I'm still getting enough eggs that we don't quite eat through them as fast as they produce in the summer. However, in the winter time, we're really looking for something to substitute. And again, I said, these are amazing to be able to take these like on a camping trip, hunting, fishing. A lot of times out there, even if we're not staying overnight and we're hunting and fishing and whatever, we're cooking food, we're doing different stuff. And so it's so super nice to have these eggs easy to fry up. All right, so one tray. Let me grab a half-gallon jar. All right, I got my half-gallon jar. We are going to do one of the trays into it. They do one of these freeze dryer trays. They do make like silicone mats. I have some. I never ever use them. Only because I haven't had anything stick so badly that I've been like, oh, I totally regret that. They wash really, really easily. So you'll see people use like parchment paper and different things with their freeze dryer trays. I just haven't done anything that requires that kind of, you know, lining. So if I don't have to use it, don't have to waste it, I'm probably gonna try not to. Right here I have the Harvest Right freeze dry sealer, and then I have the 100cc oxygen absorbers. So one in the jar, straight on with the lid, one per bag. Come on. Okay. Seal that up. And then it just lays in here. You push down, you'll hear it. Okay, I'll give it twice. Seal it. And then after this, just so you know, I am treating these videos during this time. If you've been here for a long time, I'm hoping to find some new people that would be interested in following the channel and enjoying the things that we do here. So if that's you and you're enjoying the content, we ask you to hit that subscribe button. Join us in the future as well. And so each video I am treating a little bit brand new. And so if it's some repetitive things, I'm sorry about that. But if this is your first time watching, it won't seem repetitive at all. But twice on that, and there we have it. All right, and now I'm going to clean up the kitchen so that you and I can process the cauliflower first thing in the morning, and I want to have something ready to go in the freeze dryer. We have the beets in the freeze dryer right now, and they should be ready to pull out in the morning, and we can swap-a-roo right off the bat. And I hope that you stick around for the rest of this video. For now, I'm gonna clean up the kitchen, head to bed. Well, good morning. I have already had my coffee this morning, and then the other thing that I did was get the freeze dryer trays, I can find those two words, washed and dried last night. They sat last night, and then I went down to our fruit and vegetable freezer, and I grabbed out every bit of cauliflower that I had down there. And what I'm going to do is start swapping out. Sometimes I go on these big cauliflower rice kicks where I eat a ton of it for a while, and then I will kind of go off of it for a little bit. And so this cauliflower rice hasn't gotten ate. It is still sealed up, it is still good. And so we are going to kind of break it up a little and get it straight onto the freeze dryer trays and going in the freeze dryer. So everything in the freeze dryer tray has to be below the rim or it bumps into the level above it, and cauliflower rice breaks up fairly easy. And then I have red and red and red. This is supposed to reconstitute beautifully, be a fantastic substitute for rice when you are in a hurry. I do use it as rice, but I also use it as like a base for a lot of things, like maybe a stir fry, something like that. Telling myself, but then I'm talking. Break it up in the bag. So this is a purple head of cauliflower. When I was running low, I got these rice cauliflowers from Costco. They're actually pretty nice. You can bring a cup of water to boil, remove vegetable from bag, add to the boiling water, 5 to 7 minutes. You can microwave it. Lots of different ways. I am gonna save 2 of them because we're not going to be ricing any cauliflower. And there's 4 of them in this bag. And it is organic cauliflower. If you're in a situation where you're looking to freeze dry some stuff or preserve or just simply stock your freezer with store-bought things, the truth of it is frozen vegetables are most often picked at the peak of freshness and they're processed immediately like what you do in your own home. Whereas the vegetables you buy in the grocery store often traveled a long, long way. And so you're better off to buy frozen if you like it that way. I did clean up that purple cauliflower. Literally started staining my fingers. There's so much vitamins and nutrients in there, that deep, rich color. Yeah, right. Okay, this tray people hold 2 bags, which is 1 pound. If this is your first introduction to my freeze dryer, we have a large size and it is the Harvest Right brand. And so you might be looking at what I'm putting on the trays. Your trays may be a little bit smaller and you're going, oh, I couldn't get 2 pounds on mine, something like that. It could be that mine is a different size freeze dryer. And then again, maybe they have bigger ones. I don't actually know. My freeze dryer was a gift from my mother when she sold her house. She sent me a freeze dryer as a gift. So very, very grateful. And we're really, really, really during this challenge trying to use it. Let me pop these in the freezer. I don't want them defrosting. And we'll take those back down to our other freezer. Let me clean up here. I already have some water starting to come to the boil. We are going to process the cauliflower from yesterday. All right, we have our beautiful harvest basket from yesterday. I have 4 kohlrabis. That leaf is so big on them and it just is opening space, letting the light through to the smaller ones underneath. I probably counted 10 more cauliflowers that were not big enough to harvest just yet on still just down there, little bitty things. So we'll keep checking on them. And then we have the 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I lied. 5. We have 5 kohlrabi. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 heads of cauliflower and a handful of zucchinis. The zucchinis come off almost every day during this time of the year. So I'm just gonna kind of slice down, pull the leaves, saving some of the stalk because the stalk still has lots of flavor. But not an extreme amount of it. So I am just gonna clean this up, dice it, and put it in my strainer bowl that goes into the salad spinner thing, and then the rest, the scraps, are gonna go in a bowl for the chickens. The chickens already, before I even came in last night, had completely cleaned up the cauliflower rinds, or rinds, the like leaves and stems and everything that I had stuck out there. All right, so we want to get decent sized heads. We are going to be doing this my favorite way, which is blanching and freezing. And like you saw, I only had 2 tiny bags that were blanched and frozen left, although I had quite a bit of the cauliflower rice, just wasn't getting ate right now. But the whole cauliflower that's been blanched and frozen is my favorite way. You can definitely pickle or ferment cauliflower. That it really holds its shape and texture through a process like that. That's another way that you can process cauliflower. Fresh eating by far is Erin's absolute favorite way of doing it. So let me just clean up these 4 beautiful heads of cauliflower. Before blanching and freezing all of it, because I do have so many more in the garden, I want some for fresh eating. I've cleaned and spun these, and I think they're just beautiful. They have this purple to it. The sugar content is so high. Okay. That's perfect. We'll add some other things in here. This will be mine and Erin's little bucket as we head out fishing and other things. We are able to take a healthy snack. Okay. All right, let me clean up and we'll get to blanching. I got to cleaning everything up. I am gonna clean up 1 kohlrabi and put it in there. And what you do is you can peel it with an actual peeler or a knife, but you want to take off all these little knobs. This is kind of like real similar to cabbage flavor, and I think it's best actually cooked, but it's wonderful fresh as well. And so I am just gonna clean one up. The others can just go in my fridge and last days, if not weeks before. And then you can run this through a shredder and you could make a coleslaw out of it. I never grew up with kohlrabi. I didn't even know what it was growing up. And so until I became an adult, and then I grew my first ones up here in Alaska, and just loved to grow them, love them ever since. But they're amazing little salads. So the wood end, when you get to it, the root end is super woody and very, very difficult to cut through. So your knife starts hitting it and it bounces around. And it's just make them dipping size. It's just really, really mild and fresh. I think it's fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna clean up the rest and pop them in the fridge. I have boiling salted water. I have all of this beautiful cauliflower. It's gonna go in. And it's only gonna take maybe 2 minutes, something like that. I have some super cold well water, and then I'll rinse it to shock it and stop the cooking process. I am out of ice. I didn't even know that, but now we know. All right, time to pull the cauliflower. So you'll see that the ones that have green stems, they get really, really bright, and then all of a sudden they start to turn a little bit lighter, and that's when I know that it is done. It's more of a color thing for me than anything else. All right, onto a couple of clean towels here, just to kind of dry the cauliflower off. So good. Get in there. I'm not certain if I'm just starving this morning or if everything is so yummy, but I've ate so much cauliflower and kohlrabi this morning, it's ridiculous. Anyway, we are going to use our food saver. I am just going to label the bags. 20, 24. We'll try to do 3. And then keep in mind, I have a ton more in my garden. I don't know what a year's worth of frozen cauliflower looks like for your family. However, I hope that you learned a little bit of a method in today's video. Sorry that I had to extend it, but that's just kind of the way life goes sometimes, and that's my favorite part of the no rules of all Jessica from Three Rivers different challenges that she does, is that understanding that family first, everything else can come second. And so here we are finishing up. I did run down when I was waiting for the water to come back up to boil, and I have the freeze dryer ready to go. So we have 5 trays of cauliflower ready to go into the freeze dryer, and then at least 3 bags plus fresh for snacking. And I think we're making a lot of progress. This challenge has been great so far, and I hope that you're enjoying it. If you'd like to know and follow along more that we do on our personal homestead here in Alaska, we invite you to hit that subscribe button. When you ring the bell, you'll get notifications that we've posted a video, and then it just kind of ensures and helps a little bit, but not completely, that YouTube, you don't get lost in the algorithm. Can you do me a favor? If you have been subscribed before to the channel, can you check and make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel? I've been hearing quite a bit about how people are being unsubscribed from certain types of content. Homesteading, fishing, and those sort of things happen to be that type of content. So with that, I hope that you are blessed. I hope that you find something to be grateful for this week, and I hope to see you in the next video. Welcome to Modern Homestead Alaska. I'm Jessica, and as part of the Every Bit Counts challenge today, we're harvesting cauliflower. 3,